Just as she began her walk down the aisle with soft music playing and all eyes on her, Rex, her faithful companion, suddenly blocked her path. He barked urgently, his tone sharp and desperate, like he was warning her of something life-threatening. Startled, Emily stopped in her tracks. The cheerful whispers among the guests faded into silence. Rex stood firm, body tense, ears alert, eyes locked on something ahead. Without warning, he moved directly in front of her, refusing to let her pass. "Rex," Emily murmured, confusion written across her face. She reached out to gently guide him aside, but he wouldn't budge. Instead, he barked again, louder, more insistent. Then again. And again. The music stopped. The guests froze, whispering nervously. All eyes were now on the bride and the dog blocking her path. Emily knelt down, trying to calm him. But Rex backed away, barking louder still, glancing from her to something behind them. His body trembled. His tail was tucked between his legs. There was fear in his eyes, a kind she had never seen before. "What's wrong with him?" someone murmured. "Is he hurt?" another whispered. Emily's father stepped forward, his voice calm but concerned. "Come on, Rex. It's okay, move aside, boy." But Rex didn't listen. He growled, low and deep. The kind of growl that sent a chill through the crowd. Emily's heart pounded. Rex had never behaved this way. He was always playful, obedient, gentle. Never like this. The groom called out softly, "Emily, what's going on?" "I don't know," she whispered, voice trembling. She looked into Rex's pleading eyes and felt it in her gut. This wasn't random. He was trying to tell her something. "Rex," she said softly, stroking his head. "What is it, boy?" The fear in his eyes broke her. She stood there frozen, torn between the ceremony and the instinct to trust the animal that had never failed her. "Emily," her father said again, trying to keep things calm, "let us handle this. We'll figure it out." But Emily couldn't shake the feeling. Rex wasn't just acting out, he was protecting her. She looked at the groom, then at her father, then back to Rex. Her hands trembled as she wiped them on her dress. "I'll be right back," she said, her voice shaky. "I need to see what's going on." Rex turned and trotted off, barking urgently. Emily followed, heart pounding, her white dress dragging along the stone path. Guests murmured in confusion, watching the bride leave her own wedding. He led her past the garden, around the house, his steps fast and purposeful. Emily had no idea what she was about to find, but deep down she knew. Rex was leading her to the truth. Rex pulled harder on her dress, urging her to move faster. He was frantic now, desperate. Emily's stomach twisted with unease. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He didn't look back once, only surged forward with purpose. They rounded the side of the house, his nails clicking against the stone path, until they reached the small, plain garage door in the back. There Rex stopped. He went silent, his body rigid, his ears forward. He stared at the door, then pawed at it anxiously, scraping it with his nails. One loud, piercing bark shattered the silence, a call to action. Emily froze for a heartbeat, trying to breathe, her heart hammering in her chest. Then she moved. She rushed forward, grabbed the door handle, and flung it open. The dim light inside revealed something that made the breath catch in her throat. Her brother Jake, lying motionless on the cold concrete floor. "Jake!" she screamed, stumbling toward him, the world spinning around her. His body was crumpled. "Belle, so." She dropped to her knees, panic overtaking her. "Jake, wake up!" she cried, her voice breaking. Her hands trembled as she reached for him. Rex whimpered softly, brushing against her arm as if saying, "Help him, please." She pressed 2 fingers to Jake's neck. There. A pulse. But it was faint, slow, far too weak. Oh God. Her mind raced. A seizure? A collapse? Had he fainted from something sudden? Jake was always healthy, or so she thought. Without hesitation, she grabbed her phone and dialed 911, her voice shaky, cracking as she tried to stay calm. "Please, my brother, he's unconscious. He's barely breathing." Rex remained beside Jake the entire time, refusing to leave his side. His soft whines filled the silence as they waited. "Stay with me, Jake. Please," Emily whispered, gripping his hand. Tears welled in her eyes as she struggled to stay composed. Minutes felt like hours. Then sirens. The ambulance arrived. Paramedics burst into the garage, quickly assessing Jake's condition. Emily stepped back, heart still pounding. "His blood sugar is critically low," one of the paramedics said. "You found him just in time. He was about to lose consciousness completely." Emily exhaled sharply. Relief crashed over her like a wave. It wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't something permanent. But it had been close. Too close. Jake had a known issue with low blood sugar, but no one had noticed he was in trouble. Not even her. Except Rex. As the paramedics stabilized Jake and loaded him onto the stretcher, Emily turned to Rex, who sat quietly watching. His eyes were steady. "Come." She dropped to her knees and wrapped her arms around him. "You saved him," she whispered into his fur. "You saved my brother's life. You're a hero." Rex licked her cheek gently, tail wagging just once as if to say, "I was just doing my job." But to Emily he was so much more. A few days later the wedding finally took place. This time, Emily didn't walk down the aisle alone. Rex walked beside her, tail wagging proudly, wearing a small satin bow tied around his neck. He had earned that walk. Earned his place by her side, not just as a pet but as family. As a guardian. As she stood at the altar, holding her groom's hands, Emily shared the story with the guests. Her voice trembled as she recalled how Rex had blocked her path, and led her to her brother in time. "I know it might sound unbelievable," she said, her voice thick with emotion, "but I believe with all my heart that Rex is my guardian angel." The crowd was silent at first, then slowly filled with quiet awe and admiration. No one would forget the story of the dog who saved the day. As Emily said her vows, Rex sat patiently at her feet, looking up at her with wise, soulful eyes. And just before the ceremony ended, she whispered softly, "Sometimes, love doesn't speak with words. Sometimes it speaks with a bark."